Had a guy left a we'll call this the skinny jean comment of the day. Hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. It is a beautiful Labor Day holiday here at the farm, but y'all know how we celebrate holidays. We keep on working. So I'm out here at the sawmill today. I've got a mess. It's been a while since I've been out here, and I've got cut-offs and junk and trash, and I'm gonna try to clean some of this up today because I've got a ton of logs out here that need sawing. We've got some stuff that's been laying out in the field for a while now. Y'all saw me on another video few weeks back now. We moved and reorganized some of that stuff so that we could actually do something with it. And since then I have bought some more logs. I bought some white oak. So we're going to work today. One of the things, I don't know what else we're going to get into today. One of the things we're going to do, we're going to clean up, straighten up, and try to get this a little bit better organized so that we can actually come out and work and do a little bit of sawing. So hang out with us for a little bit, and let's see if we can't get this place cleaned up, looking nice and better organized. All right, so I've got 2 stacks here of good lumber. That the dimensions are right. It's not odd size. It's all been packed. It's all straight. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to organize it on one pack. And then I've got some other stuff over here that was kind of practice cuts when I was first learning, and I'm still learning. But this is the kind of, I won't say it's the worst of the worst. It's just, it's not, the dimensions are not all consistent. So I'm going to pull the good stuff out, pack it, save it. I've got some 1x material over there that will be fine. It got flat packed, so I think it's not cupped. And I'm going to save all that, and then the stuff that is not good size, the dimensions are not correct, I'm probably just going to list that for a real cheap price on the marketplace and just see if somebody wants it. Just get out of my way. I mean, make somebody real what a deal in it. But for now, I'm going to try to just get all this kind of organized, all the good stuff together so that I know what I've got. I've got some 2x4s that are 10 feet. I've got some that are 12. And then I've got some real good 4x stuff here. 4x4s that'll work good for just whatever. Okay, so I ended up with some pine, and luckily I had not cut a bunch of pine, but I ended up with some pine that was a little bit on the buggy side. So I was trying to decide what to do with it, and had Sandra come out and look, and she said, you know, if you can use it for something, use it. If not, burn it. So we talked a little bit about it, and I think I can use it. I moved it all outside. It's not even in here now. Moved it all outside. But I think I can use it for the well house. So I just moved it out there and stacked it, and we're just going to save it and use it for the well house when my buddy James comes over, Jim Bob, comes over and helps me finish framing that thing up. We've got the post in the ground, we've just not got all the framing and the siding and the roof on it. So back to plan A, working on getting all the stuff that is of appropriate size, consistent size. We'll stack that, and then we'll be in good shape. We'll try to get this cleaned up here. All right, I got it stacked, stickered, straightened up, the 3 S's. So this is really kind of a hodgepodge, and as I was going through it, there's a lot of good stuff in here. I've got some 2x6s on the bottom, I've got some 2x4s in a couple different lengths, and then I've got some 1-inch stuff for board and batten side, and we'll probably use that on the well house. And then also I had some 4x4 timbers, some 4x4 squares. So good variety of stuff. This is all poplar. Went through it all, looked at it. Everything looks good. No insect damage. I did have some that were starting to mold just a little bit because I had dead stacked it wet. But I think this will get it up. May have a little mold stain, but for me, for what I do, I don't care. And worst case scenario, we could run it through a planer and probably knock most of that off. But very happy with it. And so, man, that took a while. I about used up all my stickers, and I had Sandra buy me some more the other day when she was at Lowe's. I want to go get some more stickers. But got that done. Let's clean up the mill a little bit. We need to blow it off, we need to lube it up, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see, we may get something on there and saw a little bit. All right, I saw this hack on another sawmill channel, and this is not a sawmill channel, but I just want to show you what I saw. So lots of guys will put automatic transmission fluid in a spray bottle and will spray their rails with it, and that works fine. I make more of a mess with that than I do anything. So, and actually I believe it was one of the mobile service guys from Wood Miser. They had a bucket. They were using a cat litter bucket to do this with, and I'm using a Rubbermaid canister tub that Sandra gave me. She's changing some stuff out in the kitchen and just gave me this. Used to hold flour, sugar, or something. Took the lid, cut a little hole in the top so my paintbrush handle would stick up through it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little diesel fluid, good gracious, a little automatic transmission fluid down in my bucket here. Still got my spray bottle, so if I need to spray, I can. And then I can just put my paintbrush down in here and it'll just live right there. And then when I'm ready to lubricate the rail, I can just take my lid off here, take my paintbrush with my automatic transmission fluid, and just paint it right on there. Very little mess. I'm not spraying it everywhere. Probably going to use a lot less ATF on it too. So just a little hack for you there if you've got a sawmill and you need to lubricate the rail. A cheap, heck, you can probably get these at Goodwill or at a yard sale for $1/4. Paintbrush, you got that at Harbor Freight for like $2. I mean, it's easy, simple. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. All right, so this is a poplar that I got off of a tree service. And as you can see, it has got a terrible, terrible place in it. And I don't know, I think there's still some good stuff in it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this thing back and get this as close to the top as we can and trim it off. Probably what I'm gonna end up doing on this is just making some dimensional stuff. I had posted on Facebook Marketplace a couple weeks ago some overrun stuff that I'd had for my sawmill, or for my woodshed package, and sold it pretty quick, and then had other folks reaching out asking for it. So I'm just going to run some dimensional stuff today. This is just, it's poplar. It would be fine probably for probably the nicest thing you could do would be some board and batten or maybe some interior siding. I don't have a kiln, I don't have a molder planer, so for this I think probably board and batten siding or dimensional stuff is probably going to be the best of this. The nice thing about poplar, and I've done this before, is you can use it green. I have framed up chicken coops in the past with green poplar, and it seems like, in my experience, you frame it up green, and the longer it sits, the harder it gets. So it actually works out pretty good. So let's see if we can make something out of this. I don't know if we can or not. It's a mess. It's terrible. But it was in a load that I bought from a tree service. We'll see what we can do with it. All right, it's been a few weeks since I've had a chance to get out here and work at the sawmill, but I was a lot slower today than I had been being, and I ended up with some waste that I was trying to navigate. I probably should have had the tractor out here just to slide that stuff over on the forks as soon as I was done, but it didn't. But I ended up with, I think, 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 21 2x4s, poplar. And after I took one of the top cuts off, I looked at it, and it's really pretty. And it probably would have been better as a siding or something like that, but it is what it is. And so we'll get these stacked up, stickered, and see if we can't sell them. Somebody might be interested in buying these. Make a few bucks, pay for a little diesel fuel, that kind of thing. All right, there it is, stacked, stickered, organized. Got some new stuff cut. Like I said, I'll probably end up listing those for sale. I don't really need them right now. And it's a good way, I'm not gonna make a ton of money, but it's a good way to maybe buy a little diesel fuel, buy a few extra saw blades, and then keep kind of the hobby going. And it's also a good way to get your name out there. On some of those last ones that we posted and sold, I had other people reaching out asking if we could do things for them. So just getting your name out there, being in the public eye, whether it's through social media or you're carrying some cards around and that kind of thing. Interestingly enough, I filmed some of this, but I don't know that I'll end up using it. I've got some white oak out here, and I went and picked those up next county over, I don't know, about a week or so ago. And I stopped at the hardware store to get a little paint. Well, and I was hauling those logs. I had a guy come in, and he was standing there, and I was checking out, and he said, "Is that your trailer out there?" And I said, "Yeah, that's mine." He said, what have you got on there?" And I said, "Well, those are white oak." And he said, "Well, what are you gonna do with them?" And I said, "Well, I've got a sawmill. I'm gonna take them, we'll cut them up, and we'll do something with them." And then he struck up a conversation about he had some stuff that needed to be cut down. I told him I didn't do that kind of thing. I'm not, that is not my world. But he needed some stuff cut down, and then he would like to have it sawed into some lumber. So he's got my name and my number. I should have had some business cards. I'm thinking about getting some just for the sawmill, just to have in my pocket to hand out whenever the conversation comes up. But being out there, putting yourself out there, you got to do it. I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Well, I don't want my life out there," and I get that. I totally get it. But quite frankly, YouTube and Facebook and some of those things have been incredibly important for our business, for our farm business, and I think that it also can help with this here. So, I know that there's a lot of creeps and a lot of weirdos and that kind of stuff out there in the world, and you don't want to put a lot of your life out there, but you can control what you put out. There's a lot of stuff about us that we don't put out on social media, but if you're interested in growing a business, you've got to be where the public is. You got to get in front of folks' faces, and you got to let them know what you're doing, and make people aware of who you are, what your business is, and what you're trying to accomplish. So we'll post these for sale. See if we can't sell them and get a little more business off of them too. But anyway, I think that's going to do it. I know this video will be coming out post the Labor Day holiday, but I hope everybody had a good Labor Day. Big shout out to our supporters over on Patreon. We do post some extra stuff for those folks over there. I gotta tell you all this right quick too. I gone. Had a guy left a we'll call this the skinny jean comment of the day. I don't have it with me. But left a comment and he said, as soon as you mentioned Patreon, begging for money, I clicked off AMF, whatever that means. But anyway, so I responded back and I said, listen, if you want to sign up, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't care, but we do offer some extra content and some things over there for those folks. A little behind the scenes kind of stuff, some of the stuff that we don't feel comfortable putting out there to the greater public. If you want to, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But you know, you don't have to be snarky about it. You know, we're just out here trying to hammer out a living, and we like sharing stuff with you folks. And sometimes we've got some extra things that we can and we like to share too, and we offer that up. So it is what it is. But for those of you that do support us on Patreon, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. I think I'm done. I got one other thing I could rant about, but I'm not going to. Bristol, Tennessee, roosters. Look it up. Like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video.